important things we can do for our kids, whether they're 7 or 17, is help them take on challenges. And there's things as parents we can do to help them make progress in that area. Let's talk about 4 tips today we can do to help our kids. Tip number 1 is let them know that it's really normal for the brain to cause us to feel uncomfortable and stressed and on edge when we're trying something hard, right? Our brains are wired to focus on the negative and what could go wrong way more than the positive and what could go right, because the brain's number one job is to keep us alive. The hard part is our brain gets its wires mixed up and it thinks that rattlesnakes on the field is the same level of dangerousness as, not making a team or getting a poor grade on a test. So let them know it's just the brain having a false alarm and it's going to feel worse than it really is. And that can help their worry kind of come down a little bit. Tip number 2. Help them focus on their courage, right? The goal of them taking on a challenge is not to accomplish it, but it's to go for it. That's where the reward is. And you're so proud of them for finding the courage, right? Our brains are really, really good at talking us out of doing things and making us feel really uncomfortable, right? Think about the last time you had the stomach flu and you ate pizza before and then you got sick. And then you just look at pizza, you smell pizza and you're just like, ugh, right? Brain's really good at talking us out of things. Well, it's really good at talking us out of things where we might feel disappointed or we might feel that people not be happy with us. So let them know that that courage they're showing is so great that they're willing to push through. Tip number 3 is help make this challenge they're going through, make it more familiar. When something's more familiar, our brain starts to settle more, our stress is lower, and now it says, okay, and help them relate to. Maybe they had a similar experience with school or with a tryout or making a friend, and to say, you've been through stuff like this before. You found a way to push through. You've trained your brain to do it. And I bet you can find a way to train your brain to do it again. Tip number 4 is when the challenge is over, whether it went well or didn't go well, whether they accomplished what they wanted to or didn't, I want you to give them the same message. And that is that, wow, you know what you did today? You trained your brain to push through discomfort, to push through things when they're uncomfortable and hard, and you went ahead and did it anyway. And that means the next time a challenge comes along, your brain's more likely to do it again. And yeah, when it doesn't go well and they're bummed out and disappointed, absolutely. You can go, yeah, I get that. It makes sense. I understand why you're bummed. And also, I'm just really proud of you for finding the courage to try. And when things go well, I want you to do the same way. I don't want you to go, oh my God, you're so smart because you got an A, or you're an amazing goalie because, you made the team you wanted to, or you're incredible center back because you guys shut out that team. I want you to still focus on the courage that they were willing to put themselves in a stressful, challenging situation. Let me give an example. So a couple of years ago, my son was playing for his team. They were in Vegas for a tournament, and they had a new coach. And my son was the center back on his team, and they had him take free kicks. And it was going pretty good. There's about 10 minutes left in this game, really tight game. And they got a free kick about 20 yards out. And I see on the sideline, the coach is saying something to my son, kind of back and forth. And he walks over and he gets the ball. I'm like, he's taking the kick? I'm like, wow, they got some kids on their team who can take some pretty good free kicks. That's not really what he typically does. So he lines up behind it. He takes it. The ball's going. It kind of dips. And it dips down right below the crossbar. It goes in the upper 90. And he scores. And his face, man, it just lights up. He's like, yeah. And she's like, yeah. And inside I'm like, this is so cool, man. I mean, I can still picture that joy in his face. I mean, it was awesome, right? So they ended up, finishing the game out. They won 1-0, comes off the field, and he's like, Dad, did you see that? I got the winning goal. I got this free kick. I'm like, that was so awesome, man. What'd that feel like, everything? And we talked about it, and I was asking what it felt like before he took the kick, and he's like, well, and I go, what happened with you and Coach on the sideline there? He said, well, the coach called me over and said, hey, can you take the kick? And I said, yeah. He goes, yes or no? And I said, yes. I'm like, whoa, you said yes? You said yes in that big moment when this isn't what you typically do? Dude, that is awesome. I'm like, wow. I go, I am so proud of you for scoring that goal. I mean, just to see that joy on your face, man, I could watch that video every day of my life and love it. But you know what I'm really most proud of? The fact that you said yes in a high pressure moment, right? Because that was a challenge for him to take that kick. Because what I want him to internalize is, hey, my dad thinks it's great I scored a goal. He's going to celebrate with me. He's going to encourage me. But what he really values most is the fact that I said yes and had the courage to try it. And if he internalizes that, the next time he's in a big pressure moment where he's maybe going to try something hard, he'll be more likely, hey, the goal here is to try it. And then he's more likely to do it. And when you try things that are hard, that's how you grow yourself. You improve, right? You grow. And that's how you really discover new passions at times. And you can reach your potential. You cannot reach your potential if you don't try things that are hard.
Can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home, go hard.